Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of TCR, the Cultural Resets Artist Interview Series. We're here with another incredible artist. We're talking to LEGWURK, aka Tani, who is a master of guitar and synths and also plays alongside an incredible group called Still Woozy. So it's nice to meet you,
Nice
LEGWURK.
to meet you, Nick
Welcome,
and
welcome.
Shannon.
Hello,
Hello.
me.
Uh,
Let's ask about you and get to know you a little bit. Could you tell us where your creative journey got its start?
sure. Oh, wow. That's a really long origin story, but yeah, let me think. Uh,
Way
Probably
back
when I was like,
and
I don't know, started getting bullied when I was like, I don't know, 8 years old. And you need outlets for pain and isolation, and art was always a good way to deal with my feelings, and not be ridiculed. Um, but I mean, it's been a long road since I was 8 years old. I mean, that was only last year, but like, still, I've come a long way. Like, it's crazy being 9 now.
oh my
It's like
gosh.
so
Wait until
much
you
to
get to
think
10.
about.
Those double digits are intimidating.
I know. Yeah. Do you mean like specifically like with music or
Yeah, where did you? I'm really curious to see where you kind of got your involvement with guitar and synths. Like that's interesting because I know that you do a lot of creative stuff with that.
um well, okay, so I guess I started as a percussionist when I was a kid, but then I kind of like self-taught, did like guitar forever, and then like only started playing piano and keyboards like when I was in college. In the like I studied music actually, and that's where I met Sven, who's the singer of Still Woozy, and we kind of met in the music program there. And then after college, just kind of like kept hanging out, and then eventually started, working on his stuff, Still Woozy. But yeah, I've been a kind of like I'd say my core is like writing. Like I'm a singer songwriter at the core. Like that's kind of my thing. It's like it's always been about the songs, and the instruments are just tools to figure out how to get the emotion out. Um, so whatever instrument inspires me is usually what I'll write a song on, and it will change a lot. I've known to be a music instrument collector, which is really silly because I don't play most of them, but I do have a lot of instruments.
What are some of the instruments that you use on occasion?
Like I'll use banjo here and there, and ukulele, and string instruments every now and then. I would when I would travel to parts of the world, like with like random instruments, like Turkey and stuff, like I'd pick up like a bush saz, which is like this crazy looking instrument. I mean, there's just so many instruments around the world, that have such unique timbres. I don't use them a lot in the legwork stuff, but it's like always helpful to have just instruments around me to like feel inspired by.
Yeah, it's a great way to like expand your creativity and your versatility as an artist, which I think is really,
Mm-hmm.
really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to like pick up like a banjo and also like a whole bunch of other worldly instruments and be able to like play them and incorporate them in what you do. That's
I'm
insane.
like I'm really good at I'm really decent at a lot of things, but I'm not good at anything. You know what I mean?
I
Like
relate to that.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's okay though. I feel like that's okay. Like I feel like that's a good thing.
No, for a long time I was like, oh gosh, I got to get so technically good at guitar. Like I was so nervous about like my skills have to be like real. I have to be so like I can like do solos and virtuosic. Like I'm so worried about
Right.
that. And then I was like, no, I just have to be able to be emotive on whatever I play.
Mhm.
And if I
Hmm.
can find the emotion and it feels authentic, then that's what matters. And usually music that people relate to is actually quite simple and not very technical.
Yeah,
So,
comes
you
from the
know,
heart.
How have you felt that you can connect with people who listen to your music, or have you had connections form?
honestly, it's been kind of rough because I only started putting out legwork stuff in the pandemic.
Mhm.
Um, so I haven't met a single fan. Like, I don't know what a single person that listens to my music is like. And I would love to. Like, I literally would love to give someone a hug and be like, thank you for listening to my music. Like,
Mhm.
I thought it was just my mom. Like, literally, thank you, you know? Um, um, So like, I don't know, I'm so excited to see what that will be like, or to like even play a live show. Like I've never played a live show under legwork. So that'll be really cool whenever that happens. I'm really bad at social media, um, and it really hurts my soul. And I feel bad because I think a lot of my fans are like 20 or 18 and like really get the social media thing, and I'm just like so fatigued by it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
So
so many artists turn to having teams, because it really does take a team to run your social media accounts to the extent to which like major creatives run it. There's so many layers and so many people that are involved with that upkeep, and it is upkeep, it's a
Mm-hmm.
task.
yeah, I mean, I'm doing everything on my own at the moment. So what I do is just not do
Have
it.
you have you done any, have you done self promotion?
No, I can't. I just can't do it. It just really hurts me. It's like, if you want to jive, like if you want to hang out, if you like my music, cool, but I'm not going to push anything. Like I can't
Mm-hmm.
do it. It just feels so wrong. It's like pushing your it's like if you're like dating someone, or you want to like, like get to know someone, you're not going to be pushy. You're just going to be like, if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. Okay. You know?
Yeah. I think that we've had conversations like that too, Shay. I know with one artist whose interview hasn't come out yet. But like it's like this idea of like having to be glued to social media in order to be successful as an independent artist. Like
Mm,
how a lot of artists are, they are, you know, they have like a lot of pressure in the industry to kind of constantly create content and constantly push themselves and hire a team of
yeah.
people to constantly push themselves or push
Yeah.
them. And like we had a conversation with a couple of artists about like how stressful that is, how like how how it makes them feel. Like it makes them feel a little bit like what you were talking about, like how it's like, I don't want to like throw myself in people's faces to force them to like me. Like and other people are just kind of overwhelmed by this sort of like yeah, this sort of pressure that's like, God, I have to constantly create this content. I have to make TikToks, and I have to make reels, and I have to create this with my music in it. I have to think about the algorithm. And like a lot of artists, I think that are taking the independent route, like they're tired of
Hmm.
that. They're also tired of that. So I don't think you're alone at all.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still trying to figure out how to care again, because right now I've kind of been like, I don't try. I don't think about, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm literally just doing what I like to do, which is just music. So I'm not doing a lot of promotion. Like, this is great. Like, I love having conversations like this. If people reach out to me, this feels real and human.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like posting and just dropping your like soul into the endless abyss over and over again is like, that's not sustainable for me. Like, that's legit not sustainable.
I think it does definitely, bring up an interesting conversation topic, which is something that we do talk about quite a bit, because I mean our sole purpose is to talk about POC and LGBTQ plus communities in the music industry. And a lot of people that we talk to are independent creatives. But you were saying that you released most of your music in the time of COVID, and you haven't used much social media, and yet people are still finding your music. Clearly, I mean, your Spotify account looks great, you know? You are still doing great, but it's just because you are being true to yourself, and you're like, this is what, like this is what I have to give, and this is what I'm going to give, because that's, true to yourself. So, and I think that there's a misconception that sometimes the goal in art is profitability, or the ability to like have that appreciation and have that attention. Because I know for me all the time, like I'm painting and my parents are the ones that ask this, of course, but they're always like, are you going to sell that? Like, are you going to make money off of that? Like,
Yeah.
when are you going to sell these things? And it's like, well, that's not why I do it. I don't.
Mm,
And if what you're doing is what you love, which it is, I mean, and that's why you do it. And you're right. Like, thank you to everybody who appreciates it. I saw in your bio, you were just like, if you listen to my music, I love you. Like, doesn't matter. Unconditional love here, because having that support without having to be someone you're not is unique.
That's so well said.
Thank you. Sometimes
I'm
I
gonna
go on.
cry.
Sometimes I go on rants. You just gotta bear with me a little bit, but I bring it back around.
No, I loved it. I feel emotional hearing that.
Oh.
Do you feel
But
like you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I think like the only reason I'm still doing in the music industry, I've been in the music, like pushing to be in the music industry for like 10 years, is by getting back to like why I'm doing this. I've had to navigate that feeling so many times you're describing, of like being basically imprisoned to this capitalist notion that like our success is defined by how much money we make. And our artistic integrity and worth is defined by how much money we have, and how much, how many fans. And I'm like, actually, I'm just here for the quality, like over quantity. So if there are people that really jive with my music, even if it's for just one person, like that's enough. Like I have to be doing this for myself, or it won't work. It can't be, like you said, for money, because I've been down that road being like, okay, how do I monetize this? How do I make a career out of this? How do I blah, blah, blah. And the minute I stopped trying was the minute it started working. It's like, okay, I guess I'll just keep working at this bar and be a server for the next few years until I'm really tired of it. And then things started happening. It was when I was like so fixated on it needs to happen now. I need to be successful. I need to be seen. That blinds you to like actually being authentic, and how to cultivate real fans, and how to cultivate a sustainable career as an artist is to be authentic, and give what you actually can.
It's almost like taking something that is expression and making it into a product. And as soon as it goes from something that's a product to be produced, your self-expression kind of like pulls back from it, because it's just like,
yeah,
there's expectations there that aren't my expectations for myself.
I like that. I'm kind of curious though. I want to throw like a different perspective in there, because there's a lot of people, a lot of artists who love the thought of being able to make money off of their music because it's their passion. They don't have to do anything else that they don't want to do. They can just kind of take who they are and turn it into a product. So, I mean, from my perspective, it doesn't seem like that process in and of itself is a bad thing. It's just when you get to the point where your music is more product and less you. Like Shay said, I really like that, like the product idea. Like when you are more worried about creating a piece of like brand, you know what I mean?
Right.
For your monetary success than like your musical success. I feel like it's a tough balance to have, you know?
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Because if you choose to pursue it and put time into it, there's going to be a lot of adversity. Just like being queer, or just like choosing something that is like, why would you do that? So yeah, people want to quantify the reasons. They want to be like, well, I'm doing this, I'm going to try and make this into a career.
I would love to be able to do what I love as a career. Of course you would.
Yes.
And that's, that is the goal. And I know, and it sounds like you are also in the same position where it's just like, I need success in the music industry now, because that's, also been kind of the standards, is that you start rather young, like, whether it's 16 or in your 20s, but that's when you find your initial fame. And it's almost like, am I going to miss this window? Like, I need to push, I need to do the legwork. I need to like get it done in order to be able to prove myself. But the thing is like, taking things as they come sometimes leads you to more opportunities, because then you get the quality, then you are working on something that means something. And in the art realm, that's everything. That's how you earn respect. And to me, I think respect is everything. Like, over financial success, I would rather just have respect for my peers, and I respect my peers. But where am I going with this? But currently, where you are, the pressures of finding success, has that gotten to you?
Oh yeah. It's weird because like I'm like a success adjacent, you could say. It's like I'm still financially really struggling, which is, if that's what we're talking about, success, then I haven't succeeded. in that realm, in the financial realm, but in other realms I have, you know, like I really feel like I've honed in on my voice and honored my identity and figured out a way to make music sustainable, you know, like where I still love it, which has taken a lot of work actually, to just be like, wow, I love this thing that I've put all myself into for so many years. I still love it. That's crazy. I haven't like completely burned that bridge, you know, by making it everything.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm so adjacent to success, like I'm in a project that is very successful, um, I've gotten a taste of the mainstream industry that doesn't really cater towards POC or LGBTQ people. And I'm like, oh, there's not like, people don't know what to do with me. Like, oh, they literally don't know what to do with, like, I'm too freaking weird. Like, they can't handle a trans woman right now. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, their loss, you know what I mean? But like, it's interesting because the music industry, mainstream music industry, just like any industry, is run by like mostly by cis white men, not entirely, but mostly, and is also like a money making operation. Like any industry, it's like after money, and not after artistic integrity like we're talking about. So it's kind of a sad thing to swallow that you're like, oh, I'm an artist, I'm going to be in this industry that's about the heart and creativity and love, and then you realize it's like, oh no, this industry is also tainted by capitalism and the world we live in. Like there's no escaping it actually, everywhere you go.
And yet it is also a safe haven, because
Right.
being in the music industry, um you know, that's where I have found my queer community and people who I feel like I can express myself completely around, you know. And so we need it, you know, we need music, we need that community. It's just like, how do we separate it, you know, and pick and define, you know, what is part of this structure and what is part of this community. It's
I like that.
difficult, you know, it's a difficult, it's not a clean cut line, because, you know, so many creatives who we love and respect have become successful because of the music industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think too, like I'm just wondering, from your perspective, Tani, do you feel like there is a way to kind of change those more negative aspects of the industry? Like, do you have an idea of how that could be different?
Yeah, I feel like I was like, after the last thing I said, it's like, gosh, I'm coming off so negative. Like, I also have a lot of hope for this world and for the industry I'm in. Like, the flip side is, like you said, it is a safe space to be yourself. In fact, it's encouraged. Like, being an artist is like one of the spaces where the more authentic you are, the more it will actually serve you in the long run, which is so awesome. Like, how rare is that? Like, I don't know another industry where it's like the more authentic you are, the further along you might go. In certain ways, maybe not in success, but financial success, but in artistic integrity and like worth and feeling good. Like, it's amazing. And I guess what I think is like I love you know, I checked out what y'all doing. It's just awesome because I think uplifting voices that are of marginalized identities can transform the narrative of this industry, and is like quietly in the backgrounds, is like just in subtle ways. Like, for instance, you know, I've, you know, playing shows and being a public performer, I get DMs all the time when I was on Instagram, I'm not on Instagram, that are like from like teenagers being like, hey, I'm gonna like come out to my family at Christmas and like I just wanted to check in with you, like what do you, how to do this. And like there's people that are inspired by your authenticity, and that gives me a lot of hope, because then it's like this younger generation is, I think, feel like more so than ever, like willing to take risks about their identity and about being loud and present, and I think that's pretty amazing.
And you're one of the artists that's making that happen. Like, you're one of the artists that's like driving that.
I am wondering though, you know, because there is definitely a generation above us where there was a lot of queer pride in the music industry. I've been very curious lately about club kids, you know, the kids who came up in the club scene in the 90s in New York City, because that was where like gay pride and activism and fashion and music came from. And I'm like, how has that kind of remained as an influence on this generation's queer music community? You know, like, was there a door opened, or was there somebody that you feel has kind of been there for you, or been like a mentor, or like a creative that you looked up to that helps you with your identity,
Or even inspired your music?
or even inspired? That's true.
I don't think I can point it to like one artist. No, I think there was like a family of ancestral queer artists and, you know, activists that inspired me to keep being strong and keep pushing. And I try and think about them and listen to them and honor their work to get us to this point as much as I can. Because this isn't new, you know, like we're gonna have to continue fighting, and we're just part of it. We're just like the next chapter. I was at a trans youth liberation march yesterday in Brooklyn, or 2 days ago, as part of Pride. And just hearing these young trans activists speaking was, it like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like the hope that I'm hearing is like, wow, these folks are so strong and they're so young and they're like, they still have so much fight in them. It's pretty amazing. Like, the flip side of being marginalized and oppressed is that you're also very resilient and very strong and adaptive, and you're passionate about your life because you have to be, like, you're seizing every moment because you're fighting for every moment. And I don't know, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful hearing them. And yeah, I don't know, now I'm tangenting, but yeah,
I'm picturing it though. I mean, we can definitely see in this next generation the will to keep the fight going, you know.
Yeah.
And one day it won't be a fight. One day it'll just be.
I hope so.
Wow, love the positive hopes that everybody has.
I know, that was really optimistic of me. Let me rein it back in. I'm sorry.
Optimism is good. It's a good thing, guys. But I do want to ask some questions specifically about, you know, your music and about like what it's like for you to produce and create in the middle of the pandemic. What was that process like for you? Did quarantine and like being, you know, kept captive in one space, did they really kind of impact how you produced your music?
Yeah, for sure. So it's like basically for 3 years before the pandemic, I've been touring kind of constantly with Still Woozy. So I haven't had much time to kind of launch my own project. So it was kind of a strange blessing in disguise where this time really allowed me to finally finish my recordings and like get some stuff moving. And also like going through a large part of my gender transition during the pandemic. Like a lot of the songs are about that experience. So I both had like a lot of like writing material because of my personal life and like time. So it was like the perfect environment to like finish a bunch. And like I haven't put out a bunch recently, but I have so much written and backlog that once I start, like I'm just so excited. Like I have albums worth of music that's just I'm waiting to put out, and I'm so excited about, like, literally so excited.
Are you going to be collabing on them, on any of them?
You know, I kind of did it all myself. I need to get better at collabing, but like I get into these holes and then I can't. Come out and it's done, and I'm like, what?
I think that's cool personally. Like I remember with Billie Eilish, like I remember one of the things that she was talking about when she first came out, like people were like, oh, are you gonna collab with any of these artists? You're gonna collab with like the big names like Ariana Grande or Meg Thee Stallion? Just people just throwing out random names. And Billie was just like, nah. Like I feel like my music is a kind of a reflection of me right now. You know, and I want to continue to be a reflection of who I am, the stages of life that I'm going to before I collab with anybody again. And she stayed true to that. Damn. So I love that. I love that you're able to like go in and like do you and then come out. You're just like, yeah, that felt good and it's me.
Yeah, I mean, even if you like black out for a few days, it's still pretty good. You know, it's like, whoa, what just happened?
I don't know where I went.
Yeah.
So working with Still Woozy,
Yeah.
how has that been?
It's been great. You know, he's family, like he's literally family. So, um, he's my best friend, and we've just been through so much, and like he's such an amazing ally. Um, and I feel like he's actually really helped uplift my opportunity to be who I am. Like he's giving me this space to be like, yeah, just be yourself. Like, you know, and had I maybe been in a different project that wasn't as accepting, maybe I wouldn't have had the space to really explore my gender identity and, do the things I needed to do to nurture myself. So, I mean, I feel very lucky that I'm in that project, and I'm like very excited about it because it has a lot of, it has a lot of legs, so to speak. And there, we're going to be touring extensively this coming year, and I think that'll be really cool. Um, that being said, I am a star. Like I want to I want to do the legwork shows. Like that's really where my heart's at eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that may be, like, cuz I want to make it gay as hell. Like I just want to have like an entirely trans band and just like make people feel really weird and good. But like I just want to push the envelope a little bit more, and I don't think I can do that as like a bass player, guitarist, synth player. I love the role I'm in, and I can't wait to be in the role in which I'm like singing and just have more direction over the performance,
The performance.
Yeah.
And the writing of songs, I feel like are two very, like very much together, but very different endeavors, because writing your song is all you, as you said, but actually putting on a performance in front of people and being able to express your weirdness,
Yeah.
that's going to be a whole new excitement for you. Do you feel that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, totally. I'm so excited.
Also, let's talk about how you're actually putting on trans artists to like actually be on the stage. Because I don't think that that's really ever really been done a lot. I don't think in the music industry, like having an all trans band. That's really
Oh
dope.
my god, how cool would that be?
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
I know, it's gonna be like crazy. It's like people are just gonna be like,
I think they'll be into it. Are you kidding me? Nah, we'll be into it. I'll be there.
I know enough trans folks to make that happen, and I would just love to do that so much. It'd just be like, yo, fuck gender. Sorry, but like fuck gender. And like just do whatever the hell you want, just like be yourself.
We want to get it so that it's not only on stage, though. Like we want it to be behind the scenes. We want to be in the ticket booths. We want it to be in the offices. Like,
yes,
yeah, everywhere. But I really think that having a band perform and just be in all of your essence and weirdness, like that's opening doors. That's being like, this is the community. Like everybody come in. Like we love you. We love you and we accept you. And sometimes that's all you need to hear, because so often you're told that you're not accepted or you're rejected, for your identity. I mean,
yeah, that's dope.
Sorry, I can keep going like really happy and really sad. I don't know.
It's like, Shay, you're taking us on an emotional roller coaster.
I'm taking myself on emotional. Like I'm just emotional though.
Me too, honey. Me too.
It's a heavy topic. It really is, but
creatives, just
we're always so emotional. No, I mean literally, I cry constantly.
That's so what makes our art so good, though. It's then we, we're just like, you're playing the guitar and you're just like, fuck everything.
Yeah, totally.
No, I feel like that's so real. Like,
yeah.
Nah, I get that way sometimes. I agree.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I
like your hotel room, Nick.
You said you love it?
Yeah, there's 2 beds.
I basically live here now. Yeah, it's not for work. I think I may be going home soon. That would be nice. Yeah, but it's a nice hotel room, very snazzy. But I wanted to ask, and I don't know, what advice you had for any aspiring creatives, specifically in the trans community. I'm curious about that, but also
Oof.
like, any advice you have for any young creatives trying to make it in the industry.
Yeah. I think be loose with your definition of what making it means,
Hmm.
and don't kind of like be stuck on these like very narrow ideas that you see and is promoted of what success looks like. Success can look like a lot of things. It doesn't have to look like it's the only way you're paying your bills. It could look like the thing that's giving you a lot of meaning and life and vitality as well. Like, um, I think I think we've talked about this a lot already. It's just like separating, um, just doing it, getting back to doing it for yourself, and figuring out a way to make your relationship to whatever it is you're doing sustainable and enjoyable. If you're having fun and you're feeling inspired, it's not going to be fun all the time, but if you're feeling engaged and drawn to coming back to your craft, whatever it may be, whether it's art or music or, film, whatever, that will make it sustainable. Because if you are dreading it or you're putting all this weight and pressure on it to succeed, which I've done, like I've literally failed for so many years because that was my approach, it doesn't work. Like it works, it's so much more effective if you are enjoying yourself and you're doing it authentically and you're not doing it to succeed, but you're doing it because you enjoy it.
That's beautiful. I love that.
I don't
Like
know.
it's just
Well said.
that was very well said. I feel like I have nothing to even add to that because I feel like that was so
I
fucking
I have
true.
a question, if I may.
If you may.
If I may.
If you
Um,
may.
I always like to know, like, because what we know about you is obviously like what we read, what we hear, and what we've known in this conversation. But is there a part of your identity that we don't know about, like, outside of music?
Yeah, I mean, probably. Like, I mean, the
Definitely.
parts that are not, I'm not proud of are the parts you don't know about. I have a sour candy addiction.
Okay.
Like for real, like I need to chill. Like
With the gummies?
anything sour, I'm all over it. I don't like do any other substances, but if you put sour candy in front of me, it's like game over. Like I black out, like I can't talk to you, like it's
Oh my
over.
god.
Sour candy is a problem, but it's also like my greatest love source. I play a lot of chess. I'm not that good. I'm decent, but I'm getting better. Play online a lot. Um, I grew up all over the world. I moved a lot as a kid, and I have 4 different passports, which is stupid. But I did move a lot, so it's made me very adaptive and resilient. Um, I have siblings that I love and family that's really supportive of me. I'm obsessed with my dog. I'm a lesbian. Um, I live in Brooklyn. I don't know.
Wait a second. You live in Brooklyn and you have natural lights, so you're doing good.
I know I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
So when you grew up around the world, did you ever pick up on music from around the world? Like, do you think that, like, were you listening to the music of where you were living?
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely in the Middle East for sure. Like that was my first instrument, was a tarbuka, which is like a percussion instrument.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a doumbek basically. But then Canada's like, the same thing as the US, but that's so there's not like a different, like genre of music in Canada.
There isn't? I'm honestly,
I mean, there is.
I was kind of hoping there was.
I mean, there is, but it's not like, like I'm like, learning some like instrument made out of like a beaver's tail or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just a guitar, or something. I don't know. But yeah, no, I mostly grew up in Canada, but I did move around in the US and the Middle East a little bit too.
Do you feel like you experienced any, culture shock from kind of moving around all your life?
It was more like social shock. Like, I mean, there was definitely cultural shock, but like it was just really hard. Like I was bullied a lot and had to readapt a lot. So yeah, it made me quite resilient. But yeah, oof, childhood. Oof.
That's baggage.
Yeah, no, I'm good on childhood and like teenage years. Really glad that's over. Like so glad I'm an adult and I have the capacity to make my own decisions.
That's beautiful. Honestly, it was middle school
Yeah.
for me. That was.
Oof.
That
Yeah,
was the
no, we're
worst.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
okay.
I was homeschooled for a bit, so that's
Lucky.
Yeah, maybe.
Lucky.
Different.
Yeah, okay. That's why I'm socially awkward sometimes, but it's fine, aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we are. So Shay, I don't know if you had any more questions.
Oh, I just want to know if there's anything pertaining to. I always, like I want to talk about Pride Month because it is Pride Month, but
Sure.
also Pride Month never really ends. So, is there anything special you're doing for this month in particular? And then if not, like let's talk about down the road.
Honestly, I'm just I just went through like an intense medical procedure, so I'm kind of in recovery right now and resting a lot, which is great. So I'm not doing a whole lot this summer. But like in the fall, I'm gonna start touring and be gone a lot. And so this summer is really just like this. What you can see right now is my bedroom / music studio. It's not very extensive, but it does the job. And so I'll just be in here like working and finishing up a bunch of songs. I have a lot done, and I'm gonna just probably start plugging it out in the fall, along with hopefully some visual aspects, which I haven't really done yet. So pretty excited about working on some videos too.
Are we releasing an album?
Oh, I mean, I don't know how this works, but I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna, I don't know, like, I guess so.
Am I?
Yeah, I mean, I have more than enough to do that. I just don't know. It seems like people have really short attention span, so I might just keep doing the singles thing for a second. I don't really know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah, go. Tell me.
I feel very
as a
strongly
listener.
about it.
I love albums. I know people are saying, and I've been told this whenever I say I love albums, everyone's like, well, albums are dying. And I'm just like, that to me, though, is the culmination of an artist's artistry. Being able to be like, this is where I'm at with my music right now. And it tells a story almost like it's time capsule,
I know.
it's really just like it captures all of these songs that when you're sitting down to create them, when you're going through these emotions, often you carry that same emotion through several songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when it comes out as one, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's my argument.
I love it.
My argument is that the album dies only if we let it die. And I think what's making it die is the industry in and of itself, and the way people are consuming music, and the way that people are trained to consume music. You're right, back to back to back. And I don't think that's good. And I think that there are artists out there, mainstream artists and independent artists, that are keeping the art of the album alive. Because to me, what an album is, it's like a cohesive project. You know what I mean? Like, it is about like taking an emotion and carrying it through the entire album, but also like creating like a piece of work, like a body of work, which means different things in like different places, and like has perfect transitions, and has like a storyline and stuff like that. Like literally, like I need that in music. So
I love that.
I always love like, and I'm just drawing a random one here, but I always love having something to hold. I'm just like, this is it. This is the music right
Which
here.
one is that?
This is Jessie Ray's
Before Love Came to Kill Us.
Perfect for a breakup, just in case anybody's looking for something.
Yeah, please, like, and obviously it's up to you because it's your creative process, it's your creative vision, your creative.
No, I mean I'm with you on that. Like I feel that.
Well, we support you, and I will come to your live band in Brooklyn, right?
I guess so. Okay. I don't know where my first show will be. I really don't, but I know Still Woozy will be all over. So if y'all ever want to come to one of those shows, let me know.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere right now, and I really need to like get to like areas.
We're in the
where...
middle of nowhere.
Where are you?
Oh yeah, we're both in the middle of nowhere.
Where
I'm
are
in
you?
Alabama right now.
You're in Alabama. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm on Nantucket Island, 30 miles out into the ocean.
Yeah, that's much
Where
worse.
is that?
It's off of the coast of Massachusetts.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Y'all are in like the cuts.
I don't know how I got here. I do, but I don't.
Yeah. It is what it is, right?
I know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this was an amazing interview.
Oh.
Thank you so much for your time. It was really nice getting to know you and letting my emotional roller coaster take us for a ride. But that's what we're all on. I was telling Nick today, I was like, I feel like I'm spiraling, but it's like I'm on a roller coaster and we're enjoying it.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's
Yeah.
fun though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's life.
No, I appreciate y'all reaching out. Really do. It was really fun to chat.
Yeah, I wanted to say before we head
Yeah,
off, like,
of
I
course.
love you, Tanny. I love you.
Oh.
You're so dope. And like, I feel like you are one of the, I don't want to say few because I want to be optimistic, but one of the few that are really trying to drive the industry forward to a place where it's actually inclusive of people that the mainstream hasn't really, seen before or doesn't really pay
Yeah.
attention. And I think that is, I think it's cool because I think it starts on like the artist level. You know what I mean? Like artists saying, "Hey, I'm going to collaborate with these artists. I'm going to bring them forward. I'm going to bring them onto the stage. I'm going to make sure that these artists and their perspectives are in my space, and I incorporate their stuff into my music." So I appreciate you being one of the artists that does that, and I think that makes you a perfect cultural resetter, as we say. So I just appreciate you for that, and I just
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all for doing what you're doing. It's so amazing. Anything that like this is totally up my alley. So
Yes.
yeah, it's amazing.
Well, thank you to our listeners. Make sure to go follow Legwork and ourselves if you don't already. And yeah, we'll see you again next week.
Yay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.